Welcome back to Open BXRx. Now more than ever through this pandemic, it is vital to protect our immune systems. How can we do this? Through what we eat and drink. Comelonaz is a woman of color Bronx-based foodie duo sharing recipes and holistic facts and tips. Joining us now to discuss some ingredients you should have at home right now and more are Stephanie Rodriguez and Quenia Alvarez of Comelonaz. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having me.
having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, ladies. So the first thing I wanted to get into right off the jump was using food for holistic healing. For anyone who doesn't know, what is holistic healing?
So holistic healing for us is, you could break it down and look at the word on its own. So holistic, whole, untouched, natural, coming from the earth, whether it's acupuncture, whether it's herbal remedies like roots, fruits, veggies, anything that comes from the earth, anything that is pure, unfiltered, unprocessed is holistic. And it's not only with what you eat, it's also your mental, your spiritual, just your whole as a body, like as a person. So healing through that, through natural remedies from the earth. So that's what we believe holistic is. Anything that's pretty much found outside the pharmaceutical realm, right? Where it kind of like just uh, helps certain side effects, but then it might come back instead of going to the root problem. So when you talk about holistic medicine, it's a type of healing that tends to go to the root of the problem.
And just to also say, like, before, holistic healing also comes from our ancestors. Before we were doctors and nurses and scientific, we were healers. Our ancestors were healers. So that also has to do with holistic healing. We the most organic way of consuming chemicals are pretty much our plants, pretty much what the earth provides for us.
Let's talk about the food aspect of healing and taking care of yourself. I know that you both curated a list of ingredients to stock up for during quarantine and a breakdown of their holistic properties. Can we just talk about that list and why it's important to have those items in stock right now?
Yeah, so some of the items that we have in our households, obviously water. Water is very important. We do need to keep our bodies hydrated. Lime, lemons, garlic, apple cider vinegar. You can dilute it with a little bit of water. It's great for building the immune system, fighting bacteria. Oranges, turmeric, moringa powder, nuts, berries, avocado, dandelions, ginger, and things of that nature.
Yep. So pretty much these are things you could find at your local supermarket or bodega. Just, she said water. That was the first one. Water is so important, and I feel like that's something else that we're like really not as educated about. We think of water, okay, like, yeah, but it's so important. It lubricates our muscles. It sends, and it could even affect how depressed we can feel. If we're not drinking enough water, it can clog up our minds. And water actually opens up a portal for oxygen in your brain. If you're not drinking water, you're not going to be doing good mentally. You're going to be very cloudy in your mind. We spoke about lemons.
Often we forget to grab a glass of water or drink water because we're so like consumed with everything that's going on. So I think that was very important to bring up top for sure.
For sure. You could think of yourself as like a plant with like complex emotions. If you take a plant and you look at the soil and it's super dry, the plant is going to dry up and it's not going to function the way it's supposed to. Now, if you water that plant, you're going to see it soaking and it's going to become greener. It's going to become beautiful. It's going to grow the way it's supposed to grow. So in that same way, stay hydrated, and just drink your water as many times a day. We're actually supposed to drink a gallon of water a day. If we're able to get some filters, reduce the waste of plastic, limes and lemons, that's citrus. So it has like vitamin C. If you guys can afford vitamin C supplements, because supplements can be very expensive, stock up on oranges, stock up on, lemons, limes, grapefruits, things like that have citrus. It's really good to fight coughs, viruses. Garlic is your bestie. We noticed we went to a supermarket recently, and there wasn't that much garlic left. So whenever they stock up, make sure you take your garlic. Apple cider vinegar, if you feel like you've been consuming a lot of sugars, just take some in the morning and in the night, and it resets your body. Try to stay away from sugar. It's a no, because sugar, what it does is that it attacks your cells. So instead of those cells being used to protect you, they're actually being killed. And so let's say you're eating a cake, right? Within 30 minutes, that cake will take effect, like that sugar, and it'll stay in your body within 5 hours. So 5 hours, you could be like, just your cells can be diminishing and you're not even aware of it. So that's one thing.
A lot of these fruits and these that we've mentioned are alkaline foods. These are alkaline foods. It has a lot of the alkaline foods have pH, pretty much.
It balances your body. So there's a level of acidity that we should not cross. So acidic foods are like, think of fried foods, processed foods, things that, are like little wrappers that have like a whole bunch of sugar, high carbs. Whereas alkaline, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dr. Sebi, but he talks a lot about that. Alkaline foods is like things that we have in our homes, that our mamas, our grandmas be buying, lemons, limes, avocado, turmeric, onions, garlic, ginger.
Ginger has been like a hot selling item also in the supermarkets. I know.
For sure. So ginger, like people know it for like nausea. If you're nauseous, you put a little piece of ginger under your tongue and it goes away. But it's also an anti-inflammatory. Now, a lot of the things that we put on the list, almost every single thing we put on the list is anti-inflammatory. So that's because when you have foods that cause inflammation, that's literally an open portal for you to get sick with any type of disease. So when you have anti-inflammatory, it closes that gap and you're less susceptible to get sick.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Moringa powder, Amazon. You guys can Amazon moringa powder. Super cheap. It's really great for you.
And can we just get into your IG post on take care of your body? That's like the title on it. And some tips that you have in regards to that?
For sure. So yeah, we decided to come up with this post because, the world is going through chaos right now. There's a huge pandemic going on. A lot of people are being affected. So we just took these, put a small grain of sand there and decided to create a post just talking about different tips, like wearing your mask, the importance of that, the importance of meditation, because with so much happening, it's so easy to be consumed by the media. It's so easy to be consumed by fear. It's easy to be consumed by anxiety, all of that, you name it. So just to tune into yourself, check in with yourself. Sometimes we check in with each other, which is essential as well, right? To talk to our loved ones on a daily basis, but also to check in on yourself. How are you feeling? Are you doing something maybe like, I don't know, like with me, I noticed that I disassociate sometimes. So I'm like, let me check in with myself. Let me read a book. Let me watch a funny movie. So I put, meditation. Quenia had told me about taking deep breaths, right? Like sometimes, when you're anxious and you just hold in your breath and you don't notice, and you're like, like, let me take in that deep breath of air, because I was just clenching it. And also just like leisure activities, things that bring you back to your safety zone, to grounding, whether that's drawing, calling a friend, painting, making a recipe, anything that makes you feel good, that brings you back to yourself. We also spoke about like connecting with others, like the importance of connecting with the family members.
Sometimes my mind can be scattered in different ways. Again, going back to just doing the things that you like, meditation, at least for me, grounding and breathing exercises really helps me to calm down and take a step back, and do things one day at a time.
And we've been talking about, like the importance of mental health, because it's not really spoken about, especially like in our hoods in the Bronx. And, sometimes you just don't have access to that, whether that be because of like financially, it's just not accessible. So one thing that works for me, because financially is a struggle for me to get professional therapy, is Headspace, which is an app. You guys can download it, tune into that. Tell your family, no me molesten, like don't bother me. Let me just, get some time for myself, some peace and quiet. And that's a free resource that really, honestly, it really helps. And it's free, So, things like that, writing it out, talking to a friend, not keeping things bottled in. Crying is okay. Crying is okay. It's real. We're going through it. Taking breaks from the news is so imperative too, because first of all, a lot of it is like fear tactics. I would say, you know, it's a lot of things that are happening, but are not really like, some things are not confirmed, you know, so a lot of information is just overloading. So it becomes oversaturated, even if it's subconsciously, and we might overeat because we're anxious. We need to like feel good, you know, or we might, you know, do something that is not really good for us, whatever that may be, that vice, you know, and it's just to call ourselves out and be like, you know, remind ourselves that we're going to be okay. We have people that care about us. I care about me. I'm going to take this pause and I'm going to reground myself. So we just wanted to do that.
Got you. Can we just talk about real quick the importance of food education in the Bronx? So like during this time, you know, we all have to know about what we're putting into our bodies. And you know, every time we go outside, we see like the chicken spot is open, and you know, things that supply fried foods, like you said, that are not good for your body are still open. But we have the power in our hands to kind of provide that nutrition for ourselves.
Even before this pandemic, I do want to say that a lot of these issues have been going on for a very long time, especially in our communities. I mean, even in my community, me growing up in Florida, we were growing up with, you know, especially we weren't able to afford certain things. You know, things weren't accessible to us. And if they were, like a lot of like the fruits and vegetables, they're very pricey, you know, especially organic foods are very pricey. So it's very important. A lot of things that we're doing also in Comelonaz, we're going to list up a few recipes that are easy,
stay tuned,
and economical again for our communities. As a lot of you may know, you know, New York, especially in the Bronx, we have the highest asthma rates in the country. That says a lot to me, you know. It just looks at like, you know, how this system or how the hospitals are just putting like a bandage over that and not looking at the problem, not getting to the root of the problem, you know, as far as like where we're at, like in an environment of like an environmental inequality.
Yeah. And you actually made me think about, you know, I was reading this article recently about how 4 major highways, like they're connected to the Bronx, and that's where there's the most pollution. It's actually called Asthma Alley, like Mott Haven. It's called Asthma Alley. And
I live Mott Haven.
Yeah, Mott Haven. I thought of you too. And you know, just the fact that we're victims of this, you know, we're victims of goods that we do not even consume that produce this type of pollution. Like for example, Fresh Direct, that's where the headquarters is in Mott Haven, you know. So there's 1,000 trucks or more a day that pass through that region of the Bronx. What's that causing? That's causing hella toxic emissions. That's causing hella asthma rates to skyrocket even more than it has been. That's causing depression. That's causing, you know, just really, really bad quality of life. Just really concerning quality of life that's affecting our children. That's affecting, you know, women who are pregnant, you know, and these kids have asthma from birth. And it's like, we ask ourselves why, you know, and like us, you know, our grandparents, the elderly that are being kind of forgotten, you know, people in NYCHA who are already going through so much. So these are things that it's just like, it really is heart-wrenching to me. Like I've cried about it, if I'm being honest. And it's just, you know, we just need to talk about it more, you know, and just, you know, get whoever we need to get uncomfortable. But this is the truth. This is a matter of the fact. And just like holding accountable these companies that are causing so much pollution and so much like hurt in our communities, you know, so much damage.
I wish we had more time to delve into this, but we gotta cut it short. But thank you both for your time and for providing this holistic healing and this knowledge for us today.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you.
For food tips and holistic facts, you can follow Comelonaz on Instagram to stay in touch with Stephanie and Quenia. That's all for our show today. Thank you for tuning into BXRx. I'm your host, Sonyi Lopez, wishing you and your family safety and wellness now and always. Until next time.